That tightness in your chest, right before you have to say no. That sudden knot in your stomach when someone is disappointed in you. That constant, low-grade tension in your shoulders, as if you are bracing for an impact that never comes. This is not stress. It is a story. A story your body is still telling, long after your mind has tried to forget. It is the echo of the Fawn Response, the survival strategy of the good child, the helpful employee, the peaceful partner. An invisible contract written not on paper, but into your nervous system. A contract that says, my safety depends on your comfort. And the price of this contract is a profound, soul-deep exhaustion. Carl Jung taught us to confront the shadow in our minds. But what happens when the shadow is not a thought, but a tremor in your hands? What happens when it is a shallow breath, a clenched jaw? This is shadow work taken to the cellular level. It is the understanding that your body has become an archive, a library of every unexpressed emotion, every swallowed boundary, every silent scream. Today we will not just talk, we will feel. We will learn the language of your body, not to judge it, but to finally listen. We will explore precisely how this shadow pattern physically traps your vitality. And then, I will guide you through simple, powerful somatic practices to begin to unlock the door. This is the journey from fawn to fierce, and your body has been waiting for it.
Your body does not lie. We are taught to see it as a machine, sometimes a faulty one. We tell ourselves it is weak when it aches, lazy when it is tired. We try to override its signals with caffeine, with sugar, with sheer white-knuckled willpower. But your body is not a machine. It is an intelligent, living archive. A historian that remembers everything, especially the things your conscious mind has worked so hard to forget. And that deep, unrelenting exhaustion you feel is not a system failure. It is a history lesson. To understand this, we must give a name to the architect of this exhaustion. It is called the Fawn Response. The Fawn Response is not a personality trait. It is a survival program. A sophisticated piece of biological software installed in childhood or during times of trauma with one primary objective: to keep you safe by making you agreeable. Its core logic is simple and brutal. Conflict is danger. Disappointing others is danger. Having needs that might inconvenience someone is danger. So the program runs a constant, silent scan of your environment. Who needs what? What is the emotional temperature of the room? How can I become smaller, quieter, more helpful, so the potential threat passes me by? This is not a conscious thought. It is a hum of static beneath the surface, a state of hypervigilance disguised as being nice. Let's be with Chloe for a moment. She is a 35-year-old nurse, a profession built on caregiving. She comes home after a 12-hour shift. Her feet ache. Her mind is numb. She collapses onto the sofa, the silence of her apartment a stark contrast to the relentless beeping of the hospital. She has exactly 1 hour before she needs to make dinner. 1 hour to rest. But she cannot rest. Her body is still at work. Her heart is still beating a little too fast. Her breathing is shallow. Her shoulders are tight, still braced for the next alarm, the next demand. Let's look at the hidden energy transactions of her day. She spent 20 minutes calming the anxious family of a difficult patient, absorbing their fears so they wouldn't complain. That was a withdrawal from her nervous system. A doctor spoke to her with condescension. She swallowed her anger and smiled, because arguing would create conflict, a massive withdrawal. She agreed to swap a shift with a colleague, even though it meant missing a yoga class she desperately needed because she felt guilty saying no. A catastrophic withdrawal. Each of these moments, she was not just being a good nurse, she was running the Fawn Response program. She was paying an invisible tax on her life force energy just to keep the peace. Carl Jung spoke of psychic energy, our fundamental will to live. He argued that the most energy-intensive work a human can do is the act of repression, the act of holding back our true selves. This is the heart of shadow work. Every time Chloe suppressed her authentic response, the flicker of anger, the desire for respect, the profound need to say no, that energy did not disappear. It was turned inward. It became the fuel for her own internal prison. The anger she did not express became the tension in her jaw. The boundary she did not set became the ache in her lower back. The needs she did not honor became the heavy, leaden feeling in her limbs. This is why sleep does not fix it, because you are not just tired, you are carrying a debt, the accumulated weight of 1,000 silent betrayals of your own soul. You lie down to sleep, but your body is still holding a shield, still scanning the darkness for threats, still running the program. The exhaustion you feel is the biological receipt for your kindness. It is the physical evidence of your shadow. It is the cry of a body that has been forced to hold a story it was never meant to carry alone. A story of being the good one, the easy one, the one who never makes a fuss. It is a story of survival, and your body has kept a perfect record. It has paid the price day after day by draining its own vitality to keep you safe. But now, the archive is full. The debt has come due, and the exhaustion is no longer a whisper. It is a roar that is demanding a new way of living, a roar that is begging you to finally come home to yourself. So the question is not, how do we push through this fatigue? The question is, how do we begin to read the story our own body is telling us? How do we access this living archive and set its prisoners free?
You cannot think your way out of a prison you have felt your way into. This is a fundamental truth of healing. We try to analyze our exhaustion. We read books. We rationalize. We treat our body's story as a problem to be solved by the mind. But the language of the body is not logic. It is sensation. And to begin the conversation of healing, we must learn to speak its mother tongue. This is the heart of somatic work. The word soma simply means the living body in its wholeness. Somatic release is not a complex therapy. It is the simple, radical act of returning your awareness home to your body and listening to what it has to say. Imagine your nervous system as a very sensitive fire alarm. Its job is to protect you. In a healthy system, a threat appears, the alarm rings, you deal with the threat, and then you hit the reset button. The alarm goes silent. The body returns to a state of rest and repair. For someone with a dominant fawn response, that reset button is broken. The alarm is constantly ringing, even if it's just a low, quiet hum. Your body is perpetually in a low-grade state of fight, flight, or freeze. It is constantly diverting energy from vital functions like digestion, immunity, and deep rest and redirecting it to the muscles, preparing for a danger that never fully arrives and never fully leaves. This is the source of the leak, the constant, silent drip, drip, drip of your life force energy. Somatic exercises are how we manually reach in and press that reset button.
They are physical signals we send to the alarm system that say the threat is over. It is safe now. You can stand down. Let's return to Chloe, our nurse. She's home, feeling that familiar wire of tension running through her. She remembers reading somewhere that she should meditate. So she sits down, closes her eyes, and tries to clear her mind. But it's a battle. Her mind races with replays of the day, worries about tomorrow. Her body refuses to be still. This is because her nervous system is still screaming, danger. Trying to impose mental stillness on a body that feels unsafe is like trying to whisper a lullaby in the middle of a fire drill. It doesn't work. So let's offer her a different path. Not a path of control, but of communication. 3 simple, foundational somatic practices that you can begin today. They are not about achieving a state of perfect calm. They're about creating moments of safety. The first practice is the somatic sigh. You've done this 1,000 times without realizing it. That sigh you let out after a long, hard day, that is your body's natural, built-in release valve. We are going to use it with intention. So, right now, wherever you are, I invite you to join me. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, and then another short, sharp inhale to fill the very top of your lungs. Now open your mouth and let it all go with a long, audible, heavy sigh. Let a sound come out if it wants to. Let your shoulders drop as you do it. Let's do it one more time. Double inhale through the nose, and a long, slow sigh out. What you have just done is send a direct, powerful signal to your vagus nerve. This nerve is the superhighway of your nervous system. And that sigh is a message that says, all clear. It is the simplest, fastest way to interrupt the cycle of anxiety. You don't need a reason. You don't need permission. You just need to sigh. The second practice is gentle shaking. This might feel strange at first because we've been taught to suppress our body's impulses. But watch any animal in the wild after a chase, a deer that has just escaped a predator. What does it do? It shakes, it trembles, it quivers from head to tail. It is literally shaking the stress hormones, the adrenaline, the cortisol, out of its system. We, as mammals, have the same instinct, but we have socialized it away. We hold it in. So, the invitation is to reclaim this primal wisdom. Find a space where you can be alone for just 2 minutes. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, and just begin to gently shake. Let your hands be loose. Let your shoulders bounce. You are not trying to force anything. You are just inviting a gentle tremor to move through you. You might feel silly. That's okay. Your thinking mind will object, but your body will understand. You are giving it permission to complete the stress cycle. You are shaking off the residue of the day's invisible battles. You are literally setting your own energy free. The third practice is the grounding touch. When our nervous system is in a state of alarm, we often feel disconnected from our bodies. We live in our heads. We feel floaty, anxious, ungrounded. This practice is an anchor. I invite you to take one hand and place it over your heart. Take your other hand and place it on your lower belly. Close your eyes if that feels safe, and simply feel the contact. Feel the warmth of your hands. Feel the gentle pressure on your body. Feel the fabric of your clothes underneath your palms. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to change it. Just notice it. Feel the slight rise and fall of your chest and belly as you breathe. For 1 minute, this is your only job, to feel the anchor of your own touch, to feel the rhythm of your own breath. What you are doing is profound. You are using your own body to tell your own body that it is here, that it is safe, that it is present. You are bringing your awareness out of the chaotic future thinking of the mind and into the solid, present reality of your own skin. This is the beginning of trust, the beginning of a new relationship with a body you have perhaps seen as an adversary. It is the beginning of coming home.
The journey from fawn to fierce is not a single, heroic leap. It is a quiet revolution that happens one breath at a time, one intentional sigh, 1 minute of shaking off the day, 1 moment of feeling your own hand on your own heart. These are not small things. They are everything. Because each time you choose to do one of these practices, you are casting a vote. You are voting for a new reality within your own body. You are telling every cell, every nerve, every tightened muscle, there is another way. You are, in essence, performing the deepest form of shadow work, not by analyzing the darkness, but by bringing your own gentle light to it. Let's imagine Chloe, a week later. She receives a text message from her sister asking for a favor that Chloe knows will completely derail her only day off. The old Chloe, the Chloe run by the Fawn Response program, would have felt an immediate jolt of obligation. Her heart would have started racing. Her stomach would have tightened. Her fingers would have typed, "Of course, happy to help," smiley face, before her conscious mind even had a chance to object. And she would have spent the rest of the week simmering in a quiet, bitter resentment. But the Chloe who has started this work is different. She reads the text, and she feels it. The old program kicks in, the jolt, the tightening. But now she recognizes it. She does not see it as a command. She sees it as a signal, an old echo. She puts her phone down. She walks into the other room. She doesn't think. She feels. She stands, and for 30 seconds, she does the gentle shaking. She lets her hands and shoulders be loose. Then she takes one single somatic sigh, a long, audible exhale. What has just happened? She has not solved the problem. She has regulated her nervous system. She has created a tiny sliver of space between the stimulus and her response. A sacred pause. In that pause, for the first time, she has a choice. She picks up her phone. Her body is a little calmer. Her mind is a little clearer. She types a new message. "I wish I could help, but I can't this weekend. I'm completely swamped. Love you." She hits send. Her heart is pounding. The guilt is there. The fear of her sister's disappointment is real. But underneath it all, there is a new feeling. A quiet, solid, unfamiliar feeling. It is the feeling of her own back, the feeling of standing on her own ground. It is the feeling of self-loyalty. That is what fierce feels like. It is not the roar of a lion. It is the quiet, unshakable dignity of a mountain. It is the fierce commitment to protecting your own inner peace. Carl Jung believed that the goal of life was not perfection, but wholeness. Wholeness means integrating all parts of ourselves, the light and the shadow. For the people pleaser, the fierce part of us, the part that can say no and hold a boundary, is often the deepest part of our shadow. We have been taught that it is selfish, or aggressive, or unkind.
But it is none of those things. It is your sacred protector. It is the guardian of your life force energy, and for years, it has been dormant, exiled. These somatic practices are how we gently wake it up. They are how we build the capacity in our nervous system to tolerate the discomfort of setting a boundary. Each time you regulate your body before you respond to a demand, you are strengthening that fierce, protective muscle. You are teaching your body on a cellular level that you will not be annihilated if someone is unhappy with you. You are teaching it that your survival is no longer dependent on self-abandonment. This is the work. It is slow. It is subtle. It is the work of a lifetime. There will be days you fall back into the old pattern, and on those days, there is no room for judgment, only for compassion, and for another sigh, another shake, another hand on your heart. You are rewiring a system that has been running on the same code for decades. It requires patience. It requires grace. But what is on the other side of this work? It is not a life free of problems. It is a life free of the exhaustion of pretense. It is a body that feels like a home, not a prison. It is an energy that is no longer being poured into the leaking bucket of other people's expectations, but is now available for you, for your dreams, for your joy, for your own quiet, powerful presence in the world. That is the promise of this journey. From the exhausting performance of the fawn to the grounded, authentic power of your own fierce heart.
Today, we have traveled to the most intimate of landscapes, the landscape of your own body. We have called the architect of your exhaustion by its true name, the Fawn Response, a survival program that, in its attempt to keep you safe, has held your vitality hostage. We've seen that this exhaustion is not a weakness, but a profound communication. It is the physical manifestation of your shadow, the story of every unmet need and every swallowed boundary, stored not in memory, but in muscle. But we did not stop at understanding. We moved into healing. We learned that the path to reclaiming your energy is not through mental force, but through somatic conversation. We have been given 3 keys to begin this dialogue. The somatic sigh, to signal safety to your nervous system. Gentle shaking, to release the stored energy of stress. And the grounding touch, to anchor your awareness back into the home of your own skin. These are not just techniques. They are acts of profound self-reclamation. They are the beginning of a new relationship with yourself, one based not on suppression, but on compassionate listening. The journey from fawn to fierce is not about becoming someone else. It is about unbecoming everything that is not you. It is the gentle, courageous work of dismantling the inner architecture of people-pleasing so that the authentic, powerful core of who you are can finally emerge. This is the essence of Jung's great work of individuation, becoming who you are always meant to be. You deserve to feel at home in your own body. You deserve to have an energy that is yours to command, not a resource that is constantly being drained by the demands of the world. You deserve to know the quiet, unshakable power of your own fierce, loyal heart. As you begin to practice these somatic tools, as you start to reclaim your energy from the Fawn Response, you might notice a new question arising. You will have more energy, more time, more space, and in that new space, the old siren song of the modern world will call to you louder than ever. The song of productivity. The pressure to fill every moment with doing, achieving, and striving. How do you protect your newfound energy from the soul-crushing demands of the hustle culture? How do you build a life that is not just energetic, but also meaningful? That is the critical next step in our journey. Navigating the productivity trap
and discovering Carl Jung's cure for it. That is the deep work we will do together in our next conversation. For this week, your invitation is to choose just one practice to be your anchor. Will it be the sigh, the shake, or the touch? Choose the one that feels the most like coming home, and commit to practicing it just once a day. To make this intention real, to cast your vote for a new way of being in your body, I invite you to declare your choice in the comments below. Write the sigh, the shake, or the touch. By sharing, you are not just making a promise to yourself. You are joining a silent, powerful revolution of souls who are learning to listen, to heal, and to reclaim the fierce, beautiful energy that is their birthright. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Your body thanks you.